The Marvel Rivals community has a massive toxicity problem. Hey, what's going on today, guys? It's Ember. I hope everyone's day is going well. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what I feel is Marvel Rivals' biggest problem at the current moment. And I'm going to be talking about what I think NetEase should be doing to take steps to try and fix the problems within the community. And I'll be talking about what I feel we could be doing as a community to try and make this game a little bit more palatable for new players, which at the current moment, I actually don't think it is right now. Before we get into everything, I just want to say, if you like today's video, please make sure to leave a like. And if you're feeling generous, please make sure to leave a sub as well. It really goes a long way. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments. Do you think the Marvel Rivals community is too toxic at the moment? If so, what do you think should be done to try and fix it? All right, so let's get right into it. For anyone who's not too aware of the whole Ninja situation at the current moment, the really popular streamer Ninja, not too long ago, just announced that he's actually leaving Marvel Rivals altogether, as in not streaming it anymore and not playing it anymore. And from what I think is the biggest takeaway from this whole situation isn't the fact that he's leaving because he thinks that the game is bad or that he thinks that the game isn't balanced right. He's not leaving because the game itself is bad. He's leaving because the community around it has been pretty horrible to him, which I must admit, I've definitely seen in the entire lifespan of this game. I've seen a bunch of streamers being called boosted, being told that they're not very good at the game, stuff like that. And the whole Necro situation with the whole support strike thing, I think that was the first indicator that the community really needs to take a step back and just do some self-reflection about how we treat each other. And we need to take some time and ask ourselves, is this good for the lifespan of the game? I want to preface this whole conversation by saying that every competitive game is toxic. There is a certain amount of toxicity in every single game. It doesn't matter if it's Call of Duty. It doesn't matter if it's Rainbow Six. It doesn't matter if it's Counter-Strike. It really doesn't matter. No matter what, there's nothing you can really do about toxic people. There is no solving toxicity in video games. As long as the game is going to be competitive, you're going to have toxic people, and there isn't really much you can do about it. Now, why I say that the toxicity in this game is an issue, I do believe that there is such thing as the community being too toxic, and too toxic to the point where it actually pushes newer players away from it and pushes existing players away from it as well, which is pretty evident of what we're seeing right now with the Ninja. A great example of a community that I feel is way too toxic is the League of Legends community. If you know anything about League of Legends, all right, you'll know that this game has a very long-standing and still strong community. However, anyone who's ever played League will tell you that the game itself and the community around it is not very beginner-friendly in the slightest. It really doesn't matter if you're learning the game or if you're playing the game for a while. You're still going to get people in text chat flaming you for being perceived as bad in their opinion or doing something wrong. Now, a simple way to combat this is to just mute the toxic person. Yes, of course. That's what the mute button is for. However, in games like Marvel Rivals, in games like League of Legends, muting someone, while is an effective way of combating toxicity, it really kind of handicaps you from being able to play as a team. These are team games. You're going to have to communicate with your team. And yes, I will say Marvel Rivals in the lower ranks, communication really isn't necessary or needed that much. But once you get into the higher ranks, I would say like Grandmaster or Celestial or Eternity, communication is vital in order to be able to get the win. Also, not to say that communication isn't necessary in the lower ranks, nor am I saying that it doesn't help. I'm saying that it's way more important to communicate in the higher ranks as opposed to the lower ranks. And let's face it, communicating with your team is one of the funnest things about playing competitive team-based games. So having to mute someone every other game and not being able to communicate with your team isn't a very good strategy for the long run for a team-based game. One thing I also want to point out is there's a clip going around of Tim the Tatman reacting to Ninja's clip saying he's quitting Marvel Rivals. And in this clip, Tim explicitly says that the Marvel Rivals community is way more toxic than the Overwatch community. Which is crazy because if you come from the Overwatch community, you know how toxic Overwatch can get. It can get pretty toxic in Overwatch. Now, whether you disagree or agree with Tim, it kind of really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, Marvel Rivals is seeing a huge drop off in players. And while a lot of that is normal because as games go on, you're going to get less and less players playing it because they're just going to lose interest. I think a decent amount of those players leaving is because they are tired of the toxicity. They're tired of the leavers. They're tired of the throwers. They're tired of people calling them the N-word in voice chat. And while I can agree that these things in the real world are very small, at the end of the day, it's all online, so it really shouldn't matter that much. For someone like me, I get it. I've been playing competitive games since I was 13, so I understand it's gonna get toxic. But for newer players, they're just not going to want to deal with this stuff, man. They're just gonna want to leave, and then you're gonna see more and more players do that, which is what we're seeing now with the declining player counts. There are even people being toxic in quick play, like quick play. I can't even play a quick play game without people typing in text chat being unnecessarily rude to the bad players. It's quick play. It's supposed to be for fun and in learning and doing challenges and stuff. It's not meant to be a super serious game mode. It's supposed to be for fun. I can't count the number of times I've been flamed in text chat for trying to do challenges in quick play. For those of you who are unaware, the challenges in this game make you play a bunch of characters that you're probably not going to be too familiar with to try and get you to play those characters so that you're not just sticking to one character, which is what a lot of people end up doing. And the amount of people flaming me for playing characters that I don't play when I'm just trying to do challenges, oh my god, it is insane. It makes quick play feel like ranked. And before anyone says, hey, why don't you do challenges in practice versus AI? First of all, I could do challenges in practice versus AI, but that's not fun to me. And quick play is for fun. So evidently, I'm going to do challenges in quick play. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't have a problem with that because quick play doesn't matter. If you want to win so bad, then go play ranked. Speaking of ranked, the amount of toxic people and leavers in ranked matches is astronomical. In the lower ranks, which is where most people are going to start out, the amount of leavers in the lower ranks is crazy. In my climb from bronze to GM, I would say most of my games in bronze, silver, gold, whenever something didn't go right, people just left. And it didn't really matter if you reported them because you don't really get banned for that stuff. From what I know, the ban system for leavers is not harsh at all. So of course people are going to take advantage of that and just end up leaving when a game doesn't go their way. Now the toxicity in game chat is something that can be really annoying because all it takes is one person to really ruin the vibes of the entire team. And because of that, you can lose entire games because of that. I'm not even joking. Sometimes you really just have to just accept the fact that the vibes weren't there and just take the loss, which is the most annoying thing when playing a competitive game mode. And at least for me, it feels like almost every other game, which can be really exhausting. So we talked about the issues. Let's go ahead and talk about the solutions. Right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and say the first thing I feel needs to be addressed is that we really need NetEase to take away the penalty for leaving quick play games immediately. This is something I feel, for me, will take away most of the toxicity in quick play, which is what most people play at the end of the day. They don't really go in and play ranked. I think the reason why we're seeing so much toxicity in this game is because in game modes like quick play, you are forced to stay in games no matter the situation. It doesn't matter if you have people who've left the game. It doesn't matter if you have teammates who are being unnecessarily toxic. It doesn't matter if your team really isn't doing much and really isn't as good as you are. It really doesn't matter. You're kind of just forced to stay in that game, which is kind of stupid for me. I understand this penalty for ranked because ranked actually means something and people are putting something up to try and win the game. If you lose, you lose points. You lose ranked points. If you lose a quick play game, it really doesn't matter. You lose nothing. You just queue again and you play another one. It doesn't matter. So leaving should not give you a penalty. I just think that's really stupid. And there are a bunch of other games like Overwatch who also have this penalty, and it's going to lead to a lot more toxicity because you're going to have players who are just stuck in the game and they're going to get frustrated and then automatically just start talking crap to their teammates. I would prefer if a person who isn't really enjoying the game to leave the game, then stay in the game and then ruin it for everyone else. It drives me up the wall. At the end of the day, it's quick play, and if they want to be able to leave, then let them. It doesn't matter. Who cares? There are a lot of players still in this game already, so it's not like you can't get another one in there. Another thing I will say for sure, we need way harsher penalties for people who leave and for people who are toxic in ranked games. Absolutely. At the current moment, I think for leavers, the current ban system gives you a 15-minute ban. I'm not entirely too sure about that, but from what I've heard, it's 15 minutes to 24 hours, which is nothing. I need at least a week ban, at the very least. If it progresses, a month. If it progresses after that, permad. I don't care. If you leave ranked matches, there should be a serious in-game penalty for that. Same thing for overly toxic people. If you are found to be an overly toxic person, then you shouldn't be playing ranked. In a team-based game, you should not be playing ranked. I'm sorry. In a game that requires teamwork, you need to be a team player. If you cannot be a team player, then you should not be playing ranked. Which means I need at least a week ban. I'll go with, let's do a day ban. You're banned for a day. If it progresses, a week. Progresses after that, whole month. After that, 3 strikes, permit. I don't like, it really should come down to that at the end of the day. I know this might sound crazy, but at the current rate Marvel Rivals is going, I can definitely see an argument as to why so many people have left and why so many people just don't want to touch it in general. Because in the short amount of time I've been playing this game, the amount of toxicity from people has been, it's been pretty crazy, all right? Same thing with throwers. The amount of throwers in games as well this is simple stuff, all right? I feel like the ban system in this game just needs to be a lot harsher than what it is, all right? Overwatch has a ban system was way too harsh. I think this game has the opposite problem where it's not harsh enough. It really isn't a penalty to be a leaver. There isn't a penalty for being a thrower, which is why there's so many people who are just abusing the system at this point. And listen, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I definitely have my moments, but I am doing right now what I think most of the community needs to do, which is just take some self-reflection and just go, okay, maybe I need to do better. Maybe I need to just chill a little bit. I already made a video on this whole topic. I'll have a link to it in the description. And it's basically just saying what everyone is saying now. It was what I'm saying when that video was made, which is the community needs to chill. Because if it doesn't chill, this game is going to die, plain and simple. And if you want Marvel Rivals to be a fun experience for all people, then I'm sorry, some of y'all need to chill the hell out. And that kind of goes into my next solution, which is I think the community itself, the first two were just solutions for NetEase to solve. I think this solution is something where we as the community need to take steps to do better. I think we need to be a little bit more understanding, which means not be toxic to your teammates in quick play. It's that simple. It's quick play. It's supposed to be fun. And if you're serious about climbing in ranked, maybe focus on your communication skills and, I don't know, trying to work together as a team in a team game. I really feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but it's the truth. There are so many people in this game who are just so quick. It's literally so quick to being toxic when it's just like you could have just been diplomatic and just told that person to switch. Oh, and that's another thing, all right? If you're going to demand that somebody switch, please at least give them the courtesy to tell them what you want them to switch to. There's so many times where people in ranked have asked others to switch, and I'm just like, well, what do you want them to switch to? They're not doing it on that character, which is probably their main. So what do you think they're going to do on another character they're not used to playing? If you're going to tell them to switch, give them an option of what to switch to. It's that simple. Again, that's an aspect of working as a team that a lot of people in this game just do not have. And it's something that I feel we really need to get very soon. That's pretty much it. That's my rant for this week, I guess. I don't know. I just really like this game. And I think that, like Ninja said, I don't think the main problem with this game is the game itself. It's a really great game. It's a great gameplay system with great devs, great skins. It has the workings of a really great game. So of course I'm going to want this game to succeed. So it really doesn't make me very much happy to see these really big streamers who are also enjoying the game having to leave it because people just don't know how to chill out, man. Just relax. It's not that serious. NetEase, please take these solutions into consideration, all right? Let's get rid of penalties and quick play. Let's make these bans way more harsher than what they are. And let's improve this already great game that you guys are developing. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. I'll say again, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please make sure to leave a like. And if you're feeling generous, please throw a sub my way as well. I'm going to be making a lot more Marvel Rivals content. I'm excited for Season 3. Not too long from now, I'm going to actually have a video talking about the entirety of Season 2 and 2.5, what I feel about it. So if you're interested in that, please make sure to leave a sub. And I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.